The views and opinions expressed in this program do not necessarily represent those of Natural Bridges Media or KSQD's staff, volunteers, or underwriters.
KSQD thanks Aptos Feed and Pet Supply for supporting this program. Aptos Feed and Pet Supply stocks a variety of products for the health of pets, plus supplies and feed for wild birds and livestock. Aptos Feed is located at 7765 Soquel Drive, across from Aptos Safeway, and open Monday through Saturday. Thank you, Aptos Feed and Pet Supply, for supporting community radio. K-Squid, 90.7 FM.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old past said. Boy, you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got
Thanks for joining us here for Katz on Dogs, insights for both ends of the leash. I'm certified professional dog trainer Lori Katz, and I'm glad to be in the KSQD studio. My assistant's dog is under the weather, but listening at home and taking notes. He's ready to take some prisoners. Tonight, Eliza is our engineer, and we have Kale, first time on the air, and it's nice to have some old dogs and some new dogs. Jamie Robinson will be joining us by phone from Florida, and she has cooked up quite a program that she's going to tell you about, and then you can join us here in the area. It's a program for service dog handlers and trainers to demonstrate what great things their dogs can do and to gamify it. So it's exciting to announce that Kindred Spirit Dog Training, soon to become Kind Dogs, is going to usher the Sea Dogs into the deep water of Olympic level games. We feature in-depth interviews with world-class dog training experts and animal care professionals who are on the cutting edge of modern, science-based positive reinforcement techniques. Listeners and guests are invited to send out love songs and condolence messages to your canine companions. Please join us here the fourth Sunday each month, 6 p.m. If you have dog training questions or would like to request a song, you can contact us off the air at LoriKatz@AOL, because I am OLD. Or call 831-685-DOGS. Come, sit, stay, listen to Katz on Dogs on K-Squid. So it's a little bit unusual to send out music right away, but one of the best dogs ever, Shlomo, crossed the Rainbow Bridge, and I've known this dog, and like some people, like, say, Gandhi or Buddha, make the world a better place, and his guardians offered him such a great life. So we're going to send out Over the Rainbow. So maybe think about what dogs are in your lives. I'll get it here. Okay. So here we are on very exciting community radio, and I'm just going to help the engineer pull up this song. So it's a playlist. So on the back, Gail, there you are, is the code. We'll see if I can figure this out. Meanwhile, give all your people positive reinforcement for doing the right thing. And here we go. So, let's see. We want Over the Rainbow. Or we could just be thinking about Over the Rainbow. You've got it? Okay. Takes a village of dog-centered people that are going to be working together. So Leslie and Sho, we're thinking about you tonight and sending you our fondest regards.
Way up high
And to everyone who's lost a pet, there's some newer resources. The Birch Bark Foundation helps people with pet loss, grief support. There are groups on Zoom, but what is it? They say if there's a big hole, then it lets you know that the love of a pet brought you in. So, Jamie, you've been patiently waiting. Are you there? Oh, it's a little bit like a seance. Can you hear me? Are you there?
I can hear you.
So, I just want to let listeners know this is a person who has a lot to say, and I'm going to ask her to just talk me through this whole great new project. And I said, this is the best idea ever. So, no pressure, Jamie, but please take it away.
Well, Service Dog Games International is basically like a Service Dog Olympics. There's titling for all kinds of things these days in the dog world. And I decided that for various reasons, which I'll go into, that we could do a Service Dog Olympics and showcase what our dogs can actually do, because service dogs are very, very highly trained, and do some things that a lot of people don't understand or don't even know that dogs can do. The other part of this, that the reason why I started this was because there are quite a few owner trainers out there these days because of the need for service dogs for our disabled population. And it's expensive to get a service dog trained by a professional, but the owner trainers don't really have the resources to qualitatively, effectively train their dogs. So by following the games and the different titling level of the games, somebody could actually train their service dog through most of what's needed and wanted from a service dog. We don't certify service dogs. Obviously, in the United States, that's not needed or wanted, and it's not by the law. But it gives anybody who wants to learn a curriculum that they can follow to train their dog.
What I find so exciting about this, well, a lot of things. I mean, it's literally kept me up at night sometimes, is that, I made that kind of stupid joke earlier about new dogs and old dogs, and I want to introduce Kale, who I don't know how you identify as an old dog or a new dog, but they have recently come into my life as a dog training intern. They have trained their second service dog to a really high level, and it's one of my best friends, and definitely my dog's best friend. And then there's people like myself who, we've been around so long, and we're just trying to get the message out how important it is to have fun and to be a great companion and leader to these dogs. Kale, do you want to talk about that process for you?
Yeah, Lori, thank you. Just to reiterate, my name is Kale. I use they, them pronouns, and I have had the super awesome opportunity to meet and work with Lori these past few months. I'm on my second service dog. I'm pretty young. I'm only 22, but I'm already on my second service dog. Her name is Rhubarb. She is an almost 2-year-old lab. Her birthday's next month, March 25th, if anybody's thinking about it. And she is a kind of multi-purpose medical response and then psychiatric response service dog. It's a little, I guess, there's not a ton of super young people in the dog community right now, particularly the service dog community, as it's not super common for pretty young people like myself to be disabled. We're definitely out there, you know. But it's a little bit of an isolating experience, and so I think it's really important to learn from older people, both within the disability community and within the dog community as a whole. You know, it's really important to be able to ask questions when needed and just find that sense of community with people that have similar experiences to you and maybe a little bit more of a lived experience.
So, gosh, thank you for joining us, and thank you for your vitality and your ability to grasp concepts that are just make it really fun to spend time together, whether we're walking on the beach and practicing recall, because that's part of life, or Kale's helping me Dremel my dog's toes, because it sure is easier. But we're here locally going to do some free stuff for service dog teams called Sea Dogs. So we'll do some field trips up to maybe to the airport on public transit, just problem solve together and have fun. What do you think about that, Jamie? Do you think it's a good idea? And we're all, of course, going to register to be part of Service Dog International games.
And it's all games. I mean, people, dogs, other animals learn best through play. And if you have structured play, which is what a game is, they learn even faster. What takes 500 repetitions doing it in other methods only takes 40 with play. So yeah, play is good.
Play is awesome. We're going to turn a little bit of play over to Eliza, who's going to play us some things. Well, thanks so much, Eliza, for sending that out. It's Chariots of Fire, and I misremembered it as My Chariot is on Fire. But sometimes I think Jamie's Chariot is on fire because the amount of work this person produces, it's just amazing. You're listening to Cats on Dogs on KSQD Radio. We're 90.7 ksqd.org, and we welcome you to call us off the air if you need to. Sometimes you need a little support of how to go in different directions with animal behavior training and all that good stuff. So, Jamie, it's you again. Please serenade us with your thoughts.
Serenade you with my thoughts. Geez, I don't quite know what to say at this point.
Well, how could someone get involved? Send them to that great website.
Okay, there's several ways a person can get involved. There's the website, which is sdgamesintl.org. There's the Facebook page. Just look for Service Dog Games International. And there's also a Facebook group where we play with all kinds of games and training tips and how to do everything under the sun with training a service dog.
So then, if people have registered, and 2 of the 3 people in the room have registered as part of the organization, there's a very low gate of, I think it's $5.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
follow guidelines and submit some videos. What are you finding in the videos that you're seeing so far?
They've been pretty good so far. There's a little bit of misconceptions about the gear that's allowed and what a game is, but otherwise people are learning, which is really, really good.
So if someone is in incompatible gear and doing some learning, will they be able to submit again until successive approximations get the title?
Yes. They
That's
can
so
submit
important.
as many times as they need to in order to get that title.
And then what demographic in terms of, where folks are located? Does it seem like there's a cluster of training areas?
Actually, there's people from all over the place. We have international members as well as people in the U.S., Canada, and even El Salvador.
Oh, really?
So, oh yeah.
Dina, did you hear that? Someone born in El Salvador is listening tonight.
Jamie, for those of
So,
us,
oh good.
for those of us,
So,
Oh, I'm sorry. Kale's just trying to ask a question here.
okay.
Jamie, for those of us, some who, for those of our listeners that don't know, do you want to go into, I guess, a little bit of the specifics regarding the gear that service dogs in the U.S. are required or not required to wear for those of our listeners who just would like to learn a little more about that?
I'm not sure that she's with us, but for instance,
I'm
we're
here. I
generally-
just can't hear
okay.
what she's saying.
Oh,
Yeah, I
so,
can't-
yeah, probably we need to turn that up. But if I can just kind of speak over you, Kale, for a little bit. So Kale's just inviting you, for our listeners here that may not know what appropriate gear or what kind of choices a service dog handler trainer makes, if you could just cast some more light on that.
Sure. In the U.S., which is where we're all based, there is no gear other than a collar, a leash, and the willingness of the dog to do its job. Not all dogs have to go in public, and that's where most of the gear problem is happening, because I do have games in each level that deal with public access, which is, of course, taking your dog to banks, grocery stores, and whatnot. So people who have home service dogs don't necessarily know the rules on gear. But in the U.S., the only definition of a service dog legally, federally, is a dog that is trained to do work or tasks for a person with a disability. That work or task must be directly related to the disability. So things like sit, down, come, heel, and stay are not directly related to a disability. However, helping a person up the stairs, helping them move their wheelchair, sniffing out a medical event, and alerting the human that they're going to have a drop in blood sugar, or their heart rate is going too high, or whatever that alert might be. That's what is meant by work or tasks. in public, there's really no rules other than being under control or easily brought back under control and potty trained.
I mean, it's just so splendid, and I see creative trainers being given the opportunity to be really creative. So, for instance, there might be a smarter, better way to do it, but I have some clients who've had some difficulty finding in their car coming out of the supermarket, and that difficulty is based on like a dissociative thing, and these dogs are so sniffy that we can put anise-perch clove on something as sophisticated as a Band-Aid and put it on the car, of course with a lot of practice, and then boom, find the door, find the car, maybe...
You don't even need to put an extra scent on the car. They know the smell of their own car.
True. So handler-oriented stuff rather than, yeah, great. See? Today I learned TIL. What do you find you're learning yourself at this stage in your career? I mean, it's, you've built your empire, and the world has changed a bit because of your books. You've written some tremendous things, and it's
I'm actually still learning.
Yay!
Even at 71, I'm still learning. Because of the influx of positive reinforcement training, the need for service dogs in all kinds of different areas, and the jobs that service dogs that dogs are reclaiming, that people are helping dogs reclaim rather than just be pets, is incredible, and producing all kinds of science and new methods of training and new ways of relating to our pets and our sport dogs and our service dogs.
I just think it's a better deal for both ends of the leash when it's gamified, and we can be thrilled when our partner is doing this or that, and our partner, can be confident in us that we're not going to cause them pain. We don't want to confuse them. And then, I think worlds get bigger. Our mutual friend, Martha Hoffman, who was right at the forefront and on this very prestigious radio show for the hearing dog movement, now we meet from... She's in Bali, and I'm here, and there are people all over the world in a very esoteric thing, and she found that so many terrier shelter dogs did great at it because they were just little rascals and would go towards sound. Do you find you've developed kind of a breed preference or a temperament preference for your own working dog?
For my own personal dog, yes, I do have preferences. I like a boxer mix or a border collie, which is very unusual. Border collies are high energy, boxers are high energy. Depending on what you mix that boxer with could be even higher energy. I've trained boxer border collie mixes, and
wow,
they're wild, but as long as you give them structure and you teach them in such a way that it's a step-by-step process so that each step builds into the next step. Most of the dogs that I've trained, no matter what breed they are, they get it before they get to the end of the steps that I've set out.
Well, I think Gail and I found out we were kindred spirits, that our first service dogs were Australian cattle dogs, not for beginners.
Yeah.
However, they made us good trainers. Gail, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, my first service dog that I got, again, a psychiatric service dog, was a little blue heeler named Zion. I used to live in Montana, so he's off of a ranch out in Montana. He was off of a ranch out in Montana. Fantastic little dog. Ultimately, service work was not his end-all be-all, but doesn't take away from the fact that he's a good dog. Definitely made me a good trainer. As a young kid in college with a very high-drive, high-energy dog, it makes you a very, very good trainer. You have a lot of structure that has to go into your day regarding that. He, amongst, taught me so many important things, but he also taught me that it's really important to maybe not for everybody, but for me, it's very important to pick a dog based on them having the highest possible chance of being successful as a service animal. And that segued into me having my much easier, much dumber dog that I have now, Rhubarb, who is a lab. She's not
sneaky smart. She's not dumb.
She's not dumb.
Sneaky smart, and has a propensity for tippy-tappy.
Tippy-tappy.
Tippy-tappy. Like a tap dancer. The happy feet. She has happy feet.
She does have happy feet.
It's clinical.
It's a very deadly disease.
Sounds like.
So yeah,
sounds
both
like
of
my
us now have
service
retrievers.
dog.
I've got that ridiculous Toller, the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever, because every service dog should have a tail that lures in the ducks, right? What do you think of that, Jamie?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah.
should all have that, and then they should also have bounce in their step.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chisobi does that so well that we put it on cue. Hop.
And you shared with me, I hope it's not confidential and people are going to come attack you in Florida, that someone is giving you a pathway towards a German Shepherd.
Yes.
This is so exciting. Intentionally bred dogs. It used to be we, would say adopt, don't shop. And now really the movement to purpose-bred dogs, whether they be mixed breed or purebred, it tips the probability, as Kale was saying.
Yeah. I still can't hear her. All the dogs that this particular breeder breeds go to people that need them for service dogs. Every single one of them.
I've had some great loves that were shepherds, Dutch shepherds and German shepherds, and I want to know more about it. It's just kind of interesting. Well, it's always interesting. I kind of tell myself right now I have some health concerns that, when my guy passes, maybe that's it. But I'm actually wearing a sweatshirt. Can you see it, Jamie? So I'm wearing a sweatshirt that's a dog, and on its chest is a semicolon. Do you know about the semicolon movement?
I do.
No.
Yeah, okay. So it's a semicolon. A lot of us who have mental health concerns, or my brother was a suicide after so much suffering, and it's that this is not the end of our story. It's a semicolon. So we've come till now, and yes, we start again, maybe not starting anew, but for me, I had to buy this because if I were to get a tattoo, which is very low probability, it would be just this, because for me personally, and maybe listeners are sad for hearing it again and again, but for me, I was in a very, very difficult spot, and rather than go in for electroconvulsive therapy, shock therapy, I wanted to go to my Tuesday night class. So the process of capturing in our minds and reinforcing small good behaviors and then trying to broaden that out to be kind to ourselves as handlers. What little thing did we do well today? Well, I didn't fall down. Yay. And then that could be,
exactly.
my timing and reinforcing is better. Or, I didn't look deeply into the dog's eyes to see if the pupils were dilated because they were aroused. So, have you found that this kind of work has made you more compassionate to yourself or your grandkids, or
Toward life.
yes,
period.
towards
Yes.
life?
Yeah, especially since from the time I started training service dogs 16 years ago, is at that time I was actually in a hole.
Mm-hmm.
I refused to train obedience anymore because there was so much negative training in
Dictatorial and
order
yeah.
the dog around, you
Yeah.
know, and I never have been into that. And then I started getting service dogs in my behavior work, because I'm basically a behaviorist, because they started having behavior issues, and the programs at that time, I mean, there was nothing but programs back in the day.
Not that long ago, Guide Dogs for the Blind. and-
No.
Yeah.
It's been exponential. They wouldn't fix a dog; they just give them a new one, and it would take 2 to 5 years,
Yeah.
depending on what the dog had to be
But in
trained
the
for.
meantime, Jamie came out with a beautiful book on addressing PTSD in service dogs, and both Kale and I have seen it can be devastating, but by applying the stuff that's actually really fun to do, the dogs can, if you're patient, have a certain trajectory of recovery.
Yes.
Have you personally had dogs that had to be nursed through that trauma?
Yes, my current service dog.
Jessie?
Jessie, yeah, because it wasn't PTSD so much, it was just reactivity.
Yeah.
But the symptoms are the same, and the protocol is pretty much the same. You find the triggers, you handle the triggers, you give the dog something fun to do, and the fun rewards them once they do the right behavior, because it's not fun if they're doing it wrong.
Well, and nowadays, and I'm just going to point out that Jamie is really at the forefront of this, that rather than, stop, look at me, don't move, we're using a lot of physical motion to really just change the state, right?
Dogs move. That's what they're built for. A dog running through the fields is the happiest thing that they can do other than sniffing something. So dogs move. So my training has to do with games that cause them to move. Yes, there are certain things where we train a dog not to move, like when they're under the table at a restaurant, but dogs move. If you don't handle
they need
that
to move,
movement,
and it releases some of this stress in a very poignant way. There's a PhD psychologist, Peter Levine, who I'm actually studying his approach to chronic pain. But he initially studied animals and literally got to define about them shaking it off and moving on, and how they can recover in nature, and how they can have profound challenges. But the one ingredient that's non-negotiable is movement.
Yep. And he also discovered that if humans shake it off, it helps a lot.
Yeah, and this tapping that I started doing, not so much when I'm out shopping, but really knowing where the boundaries of your body are, and teaching our different animal companions. I think it's only fair. Have you noticed that Rhubarb, she's got to move?
She's a very in motion.
Yeah, it's true. In all walks of life, movement is more important than anything else. I mean, you start getting old like us.
Yeah.
And, we don't want to take our pajamas off and go outside.
Yeah, and we're not singing that song, I Like to Move It. But Eliza's going to move us into a different direction for a moment.
On Monday at 3:30, join K-Squid for Exploring Santa Cruz as Matilda Rand speaks with Amity Sandage about the Santa Cruz County of Education Environmental Programs. Amity will share exciting classroom and school activities, hear how teachers and schools collaborate to integrate their studies of math, environmental science, and social justice, and learn how student-led activities can help reduce climate anxiety. That's Exploring Santa Cruz, Monday, that's tomorrow at 3:30 here on K-Squid, 89.5, 89.7, and 90.7 FM and KSQD.org. Many voices, one station.
I'm going to send it back to you. I queued up this song, Look Heart, No Hands, Randy Travis. I got it right here if you want. It's Exciting Night in Community Radio, and this is just about the joy of movement. It's a song about a kid that's flying down a hill, and look heart, no hands.
I remember how it used to feel riding down old 2 Mile Hill. Tennis shoes up on the handlebars, paying no mind to the passing cars. No doubts, no fears, just like when you are here. No chains, no strings, no fences, no walls, no net, just you to catch me when I fall. Look hard, no hands. It took a little time to get up to speed, to find the confidence and the strength I need, to just let go and reach for the sky. You know, sometimes it felt I could find no doubts, no fears, just like when you are here. No chains, no strings, no fences, no walls, no net, just you to catch me when I fall. Look hard, no hands. It doesn't take much, just a smile or a touch, and I'm a kid again. I can almost feel that wind. No chains, no strings, no fences, no walls, no net, just you to catch me when I fall. Look hard, no hands. Look hard, no hands.
Welcome back to K-Squid Radio. You are listening to Cats on Dogs, Insights for Both Ends of the Leash. And I'm delighted to have Kale with us. Eliza's working like crazy. I could never do that job. But maybe Jamie, not everyone maybe should be a dog trainer. But how can you tell a personality or favorable temperament for either being an owner handler? What kind of things tend to give us success? We're not getting Jamie. Nope. We're not hearing her. But that's okay. This is Cats on Dogs, Lori Katz. If you need to reach me in between shows, I'm at 831-685-DOGS or LoriKatz@AOL.com. Tonight we're talking with Jamie Robertson, who has developed these Service Dog International Games, the Olympics. And you don't have to be a professional dog trainer. It's really for the handler that's working through different tasks and different behaviors. And here in Santa Cruz, I invite you to join us for Sea Dogs. And we're going to have fun and support each other. There's no money involved, unless you want to tip someone else's dog, I guess. That would be maybe like a biscuit. Yeah, maybe a biscuit bounty. So the two of us here are going to be doing that, and we're going to be helping each other videotape so we can achieve these different levels. I'll probably be an evaluator at some point, and it's just a great deal for those of us with service dogs in our lives. Do we have Jamie?
Can you hear me?
Yes, here we are in the seance. I hear you. Thank you for joining us.
I did get cut off at one point during the song.
But how did that make you feel? So what I was asking is, is there a certain style, temperament, tendency that tends to make for a lot of fun on both ends of the leash?
So what I look for in a handler basically is commitment to their dog and to the process of creating what they need the dog to do. Also the understanding that it is a dog, and that no matter how much training it has, and no matter how many situations you put it in, it's still going to react in a new situation as a dog.
And I think they have some conundrums presented as well. These are not robots. And I think maybe some of the earlier program training was really, must do this, must do that. But when you look at like what the guide dog has to do, this idea of intelligent disobedience, so that
intelligent disobedience is so easy to train. Or as Martha
and yet
calls
it's profound. It's profound. Could you define that for our listeners?
intelligent disobedience is when a dog says no. Basically, the human is about to do something really dangerous or stupid, and the dog says, no, stop that, don't do that. Or we're not going that way, we're going to go this way. Or, look, you're about to have a medical event, and I'm going to keep alerting on you until you do something about it.
And yet it's nonviolent, you know? So,
right.
No, we're not going into the street. The person who's visually impaired is not going to run into the thing that the dog could go under. That's what I find so amazing. And here in California, we have, you know, some amazing accomplishments. I personally have never trained a dog with that or with serious mobility. I think one needs to be so careful with the dog's well-being and the human's expectations. Do you sometimes see a conflict there?
Yes.
Yeah. That was a reserved hell yes for the listeners. So, is there anything Rhubarb won't do? I know she won't wear a tutu. It's a no-no. Yeah.
Despite her being a Labrador Retriever, Rhubarb is a little hesitant to retrieve for me. It's just not something she enjoys. This is, you know, Lori believes this is something we can fully work towards her being able to do in the future. She's just a little airheaded right now, being as young as she is. But I know for me, that's something we've been struggling with just a little bit, is her desire to retrieve different items for me, such as like a drink from the fridge or medications, things like that. So you'd think it'd be easy with a breed that was originally bred to retrieve ducks to the handler.
So I don't know if we really should even consider this on the air, but we're going to do something really bold. So could I be her furry godmother?
You may be any dog I have in the future. You may be their furry godmother.
So I think sometimes I'm bringing this up because, you know, Kale can see things that, well, you don't see dead people. No, you don't. But you can see things in my handling that I can't see. And I think in the process of doing these videos, we'll also see our own handling. Like, so often I'll, you know, notice, but say very politely, you know, if the handler is not marking the behavior succinctly, you know, I won't say, as one trainer did, you're late! And then, you know, you don't get the treat. Deliver! But, so in a more gentle way, we can kind of refine some of that stuff. And sometimes if we have an idea about our dogs, you know, suddenly another handler comes in and it's like, wait, you cast a spell on Chopa, my dog. And I love it. So, Jamie, let's make sure we get to talk about whatever you'd like without any bounds on it. Well, we have 15 minutes, so. You know, what's this process been like for you to develop something new almost all the time, from what I can track? And this thing, though, I really do think this is the best thing ever. And these are the Service Dog International Games, the Service Dog Olympics. Where does the fire come in you?
It's been a chore, but it's been fun. And honestly, I've always said, if you don't like what you're doing, find something that you do like. And I love creating ways to live, right? To
Yes.
train, to teach,
Yes.
to live. So even though it's been a chore and there were days that I worked, 16, 17 hours, it was fun.
That is great, and that you recognize that. Kind of, how do you meet your wants or needs for community when people are so far apart? I guess you're living near family now, which is different, right?
I'm living near them. Yeah, I'm not living with them.
Your chest freezer is not that big.
No. No, it's easier now to be in the community because of the internet, and people can, communicate when they need to communicate rather than waiting for the next session.
Well, and I think to be able to have someone video it on their phone or a little GoPro camera or in pairs, and then boom, you're getting answers from all over the world.
Yeah.
How can I help?
And
what would be a good way that listeners and trainers and people that have too many treat pouches. How can we help you?
At this point in time, I need evaluators. I need to spread the word.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you like the idea of us doing a little regional thing? I mean, my fantasy is that, we'll go to some public forums like our county fair, just do some demonstrations, make some fake gold medals, because it's only going to be gold. I don't think there's going to be bronze or silver, right?
There will be.
Aha!
I mean, it's a point-based system, so,
You're not grading on the curve?
No, I'm not grading on a curve, and I'm not grading on my whim or anything else when watching a video or watching somebody
So there's
work.
a threshold. I think this is interesting for listeners, that there's a threshold with behaviors in terms of, well, it was kind of a good try, but was it serving the function or making the grade? And in a very disinterested way, you can do that. And hopefully I, as an evaluator, I can have the weights of justice and still a very early bedtime, but yeah. Yeah, I like to say, after 9 you can get consonants or vowels, but not both, and usually mostly special characters. So,
yeah.
But with you, is there like a productive rhythm? Like is early in the morning or after you've had some forget juice in the evening?
I'm a morning person.
Uh-huh.
Most of my productivity is in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Yeah.
But because I take naps these days, I have another productivity spurt right after I wake up from a nap.
Wow, somehow I have a decline and you're fitting in an extra power burst. Huh. Does Rhubarb have a time that they like training? She likes training?
I know for me, my dog functions best, and I'm sure a lot of people's dogs put forth their best effort after they've had an opportunity to get some of that excess energy out. So this, I'm focusing particularly on service work with. For example, Rhubarb and I just went to our first concert together as a team the other day. We went to a country music concert, Coulter Wall, for those who know him. Not super duper loud, but still a very big event. And we went on a very, very pleasant 3-mile walk beforehand. I know for her and I know for me, this gets both of our excess energy out before a big anxiety-inducing event like this, and just allows both of us to put forth our best effort, because I think this is something that people overlook sometimes, is that the dog is not only working for you, you also have to work for the dog and do justice for the dog as well. Whether that be, giving them appropriate outlets to do behaviors that that aren't desirable in public and service work, or figuring out what treat they like best. So it's very important that it's not just a dog that works for a person. We're a team.
Yeah.
And I hope that's something that all service dog handlers aspire to, and hopefully something that all service dog handlers are able to find in their fuzzy partners, is that you two really are a team and work really well together.
This is so great. Here's someone who has all the answers, but yet is so young. Anyhow, I think it's time to talk about the R, okay? So R could be many things. I'm not going to sound like a pirate and say R over and over again, but in terms of reinforcement or rewards, we all find different things at different times. If I was asked to do calculus at a hockey game, it would be very hard, but there might be a situation that it would. So I would like to really invite the listeners to either contact me, Lori, at 831-685-DOGS, or the studio. I'm the doggiest person around, whose name is Katz. And I'm personally willing to match any donations towards what's going on here with the Service Dog International Games. Is there a 501c3? Because that doesn't really matter to me, but can people donate funds?
Yeah.
Good.
I have a PayPal account, and that's where my 501c3 is.
Okay.
Access to Service Corp.
And I'm going to step it up. So if someone wants to reinforce that, I will reinforce you back with a free half-hour private training session or a creme brulee. Who can top that on the radio?
I don't know if you can do that virtually.
No, I tried putting in the lightning. No. But if they're within, a 10-mile radius of Santa Cruz County, I invite them to do that. But sometimes reinforcement is just doing the right thing. What do you find reinforcing for you when rhubarb's doing something that just is in a good groove for you? Do you? Yeah, I mean, I've just seen them together, so that's kind of a fake question. I'll answer it. So I noticed both of their bodies get kind of loose and playful, and Kale has some nice silly names, and we all do. But I'd like you to take a moment and think about the animals in your life, the people in your life that bring a smile to your face. We're going to go to a song, and this is both Kale and I are sending out because we feel this way about our dogs. It's Gandhi Buddha, that we must have done something right to get to have these beautiful beings. Welcome back to Cats on Dogs. This is Lori Katz with Kale today and the illustrious Jamie Robinson. Could you give us just a minute or so of a wrap-up and challenge and inspirational talk? And here, I've already filled that minute for you. Please, take us on out, Jamie. I think we must have lost her. But again, we want to take a moment and thank Jamie Robinson. He's created so many great things, whether it's how to train dogs not to go after rattlesnakes, just using positives, how to recover a dog's confidence that may have had a trauma. So I want to thank you all. And next month we're going to have a super, super exciting guy I've known for over 30 years, Steve White. He revolutionized the police and military dog training programs to use positive and get better results, fewer washouts. So he's deployed somewhere today. But thank you all for listening, and try to see something that your dog is doing right. Reinforce them with food or love or access to control the remote. You know, we got to just love these beings and be patient, more patient than you ever thought you could be, and then suddenly you'll be more patient toward yourself. So, yeah, again, if you have questions, you can call me directly, 831-685-DOGS. If you want to make a contribution, you can go to Jamie's website or get in touch with me, Lori Katz at AOL.com. And Liza, are you going to take us out?
Oh, and again, my name is Kale. I'm Lori's intern and apprentice. I'm super happy to be here on the show today. Super happy to be working with Lori. And hopefully I'll be here again soon to chat with you all further and share my journey with rhubarb and hopefully see your guys' journey. Thank you.
Good night.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old past said. Boy, you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got trouble, and I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you.